In this episode, Auditor Autistic Audits visits the BBC building to peacefully film from a public space, but the situation quickly spirals. Two officers arrive citing a vague morning briefing and claim he matches the description of a wanted person. Without conducting any proper investigation or establishing lawful grounds, they demand his personal details. When he lawfully refuses, they escalate the encounter and arrest him.
How are you doing? You alright?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
What are you up to?
Can I ask you why you're engaged in it?
Stop there a minute.
Why?
I'm just trying to identify who you are because you've got your face covered and you've... What's your name, please, sir?
I don't have to give you my name.
Okay, well, at this moment in time, we believe that you might well be wanted. Okay. Well, we'll cross that bridge in a minute once we've confirmed it. So that's why we need to identify who you are. It's all right. We'll do it another way. Just bear with us a second.
Can you start with your first name, please, sir?
I don't believe I have to provide your name.
Okay. Well, I believe that you're wanted, right? Okay. Just by your description alone, right? So I believe that you're wanted off a briefing that I've received today, right? So we can do it one or two ways.
Wanted for what?
Well, wanted for an offence.
What offence?
Well, wanted for an offence of harassment, actually. So I need to check you out in order to see A, if it is you, or B, if it isn't you, right? And if it isn't you, I'll bid you good day and off you go.
From the very first exchange, the officer's approach is fundamentally flawed. He claims the auditor matches the description of a wanted person based on nothing more than a generic morning briefing, then immediately pushes for personal details without offering a shred of concrete justification. There's no description, no specific offense, just assumption backed by pressure. This isn't policing driven by facts, it's fishing with authority. When the auditor rightly refuses to give his name, the officer doubles down with, "If it's not you, I'll let you go." That statement alone exposes the problem. He's treating identity as a test you must pass to earn your freedom. But in the UK, you're...
So if we start with your first name, or are we going to have to get a fingerprint scanner down here and find out who you are, or take you down to custody to try and identify you because you refuse to give me details?
I haven't committed an offence.
Okay, so if you haven't committed any offences, can I start with your first name, please, sir?
I don't need to give you my first name.
Okay, well, I believe you to be Christopher Green, and I'm detaining you currently.
I am not Christopher Green.
Right, okay,
that's fine,
that's fine, but you're currently being detained up until the point I can establish who you are. You're refusing to give me some details, so I need to establish who you are.
Please ask you to identify yourself?
Yeah, I'm PC 17768 Neil Williams.
And you, please?
Sergeant 15563.
Thank you.
Right,
which station?
Can we make it nice and easy for us and start giving just the first name, please?
Can I ask you which station you're from?
Yeah, I work at Withenshaw Police Station, work part of the X Department and part of the Transport Unit for Great Manchester Police.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
So we're going to start with your name then, please. And if there's nothing wrong, then we'll send you...
When the officer suddenly declares, "I believe you to be Christopher Green," despite the auditor calmly stating that he is not, it exposes the real issue. This was never about identifying a wanted person. It was about asserting control in a situation where the officer felt challenged. The auditor had given no cause for concern, no evasiveness, no threatening behavior, only a lawful refusal to provide his name without proper grounds. That is a right, not a red flag. Even more troubling is the officer publicly stating the full name of the person he claims to be seeking. Under data protection law, including the UK GDPR and the Data Protection Act 2018, law enforcement is required to handle personal data with care. Naming someone as a suspect without confirmation is a serious breach, potentially defamatory, and entirely unnecessary.
It's not Christopher Green.
Okay.
100 Alpha.
And what is your name, please? And have you got anything to identify yourself?
I don't believe I have to answer these questions.
Right. You don't believe that you have to right, okay. Well, I believe you to be wanted, right? So make it easy for us. Give us your details, identify yourself, show me some identification.
I don't believe I have to identify myself.
Well, you do.
We could arrest you, take you to custody and put you on a live scan machine. There's a necessity, if you're not giving your name and address, for us to verify who you are if we believe you to be wanted from the information we've got. So you can
I don't have to do that. You've not provided me with any grounds for an arrest.
Right, take your hands out your pocket so I can see them. I need to identify you. I'm trying to make it easy for you here, sir. So what I want,
I'm not in any threat to you.
No, not at all.
No, I'm not.
You have your hands in your pockets, and I don't know who you are.
Despite detaining someone in public, the officer still fails to provide any concrete grounds. There's no specific offense, no evidence, just a vague claim that the auditor matches a description. When the auditor rightly presses for the legal basis of the detention, the officer abruptly changes tactics, fixating on the fact that the auditor has his hands in his pockets. It's a clear deflection. The officer knows he's on shaky ground, so instead of answering the simple legal question, "What offense do you suspect me of?" he manufactures a new issue, posture, as if standing calmly with your hands in your coat suddenly justifies detention. Even worse,
doesn't recognize them.
No,
Up until the point that you identify yourself, make it easy for us, and if it isn't you, and I can establish who you are, and I can clearly identify you, then I'll send you on your way. Right, okay. But by you being obstructive at the moment...
I'm not being obstructive.
Well, you are, because you're refusing to provide some details.
No, because I don't believe lawfully that I have to give you those details because I haven't committed any offence of harassment. I'm sorry.
Right, okay. Well, I believe you to be wanted, so I want you to, I need you to identify yourself in order for me to make those inquiries. And once I make those inquiries and find out that you are either wanted or you're free to go, I will then send you on your way. Okay? Oh, no, excuse me. I'm speaking.
You've asked me whether I'm Christopher Green, and I've said I'm not Christopher Green.
Right, and all I'll say to you is, identify yourself, because
stop giving me orders.
I'm the police here.
Speak to me respectfully.
I have done. I've tried.
Speak to me respectfully.
What I'll say to you is, you're not going anywhere up until the point that I can clearly identify you. Okay.
Right, but please continue.
There you go.
To speak to me respectfully. Okay.
So what's your name, please?
To speak to you always respectfully.
Your name, please.
the auditor remains calm, clear, and fully within his rights, simply stating that he hasn't committed a crime and is not required to provide ID without lawful grounds. Rather than responding professionally, the officer completely loses his composure, shouting, "No, no, I'm the police here," as if raising his voice makes his actions lawful. That outburst isn't just unprofessional, it's revealing. It shows an officer who has lost control of both the situation and the law. When authority is challenged without legal justification, it often gives way to aggression.
I'm not giving you my name.
Right, have you got any ID on you?
I'm not. I don't have to do this.
The problem is, we suspect you of an offence.
Sorry mate, why do you believe that you don't have to do this?
Because I don't believe I've committed a criminal offence.
Right, okay. Well then make it easy for me, sir, right?
I don't have to make anything easy for you.
Yeah, you do, unfortunately.
No, I don't.
Why are you being so obstructive? If you're not committed any offence, we can check your details and
I don't have to discuss anything with you.
Why are you trying to avoid it?
I'm not trying to avoid anything.
Because it's going to be a long process for you if we have to take you to custody and put you on one of them live scan machines to find out who you are.
Well,
so it'll be a lot straightforward if you just give us your details. We can check if you want to know. If you're not, absolutely fine, which is what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not Christopher Green, and I'm saying I've not committed offensive harassment.
Who are you then?
I've just told you I don't believe that I have to give you that information.
The auditor isn't being obstructive. He's calmly asserting his right not to provide personal details without clear, lawful grounds. That isn't avoidance. It's a citizen exercising the very rights the police are sworn to protect. Instead of respecting that, the officer turns to intimidation, warning that non-compliance will result in a long, unnecessary custody process. This has nothing to do with justice. It's punishment for refusing to submit. The comment about the live scan machine exposes the real motive, using pressure and inconvenience as a substitute for lawful authority. When an officer defaults to threats simply because someone understands their rights, it reveals a serious failure in training and mindset. Effective policing doesn't rely on...
And if I do, Then I can give it to your desk
Can you start
sergeant,
by
or I can give
removing
it
your
to a
face
judge.
covering, please, so I can see exactly who you
No,
are?
no.
Right, I'm going to let go of your arm now, yeah? Okay. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be putting your hands in your pockets.
Promise
Right?
you I won't do that.
Okay, because I need to be
Promise you I won't
satisfied
do that.
that you've
I'm
not
not
got
gonna do
something
that.
that can harm me or anyone else.
I promise you there's nothing in my
Right, okay.
pockets that could harm you.
It is, isn't it? Boss. Boss.
Do you want to go and have a look at that picture? I'll stay here.
It is,
So
isn't it?
guys, it looks like I'm going to be arrested here. Can we just turn this off?
Right, you're under arrest on suspicion of harassment.
According to the evidence, unlawfully arrested. I've now passed the case on to HNK, and they are currently considering all of the information before they either accept or reject the case, and I'll let you know what happens there, guys.
This arrest marked the latest and most serious failure in a long chain of poor decisions. After refusing to provide clear, lawful grounds and repeatedly pressuring the auditor for personal details, the officer chose to arrest him despite no crime being committed and no reasonable suspicion existing. It was a textbook abuse of power. But this time, accountability followed. The auditor later confirmed that HNK solicitors took on the case, and just weeks ago, he publicly announced that he won his claim. That victory wasn't just personal, it was a clear reminder that unlawful policing carries real consequences. What unfolded in this episode was a disturbing example of policing completely off the rails. Auditor Autistic Audit was calmly filming outside the BBC building, entirely within his legal rights, when two officers arrived and immediately escalated the situation. They relied on a vague morning briefing and claimed he matched a description, offering nothing concrete. The lead officer quickly demanded the auditor's name, and when he lawfully refused, things spiraled fast. Rather than providing reasonable suspicion or factual grounds, the officer simply declared that he believed the auditor was a man named Christopher Green, even stating a full name aloud without any identity confirmation. That alone raises serious concerns about data protection and police procedure. When the auditor calmly challenged them and repeatedly asked for legal grounds, the officers didn't clarify, they doubled down. The lead officer's aggressive outburst of, "No, I'm the police here," made it clear this wasn't about law or public safety, it was about control. To make matters worse, the second officer attempted to frame the auditor's lawful refusal as obstruction, warning him that custody would be long and uncomfortable if he didn't comply. It was a clear scare tactic designed to pressure someone into surrendering their rights. This pattern is all too familiar. When officers don't get instant compliance, they resort to threats to force submission. Eventually, the auditor was arrested. No confirmed identity, no evidence of wrongdoing, just assumption and abuse of authority. But this story didn't end on the pavement. It ended in court. And as confirmed by the auditor himself, HNK solicitors took the case and won. A win not just for him, but for anyone tired of seeing power misused and rights ignored. This episode highlights everything wrong with this style